It's a record-breaking win for UCLA men's water polo. A couple of Olympians join Raider Nation, and two big championship events are on the way, all next on The Counterattack. Hi everyone, Greg Mescall here. Thanks for joining us on The Counterattack. We start things off in Davis, California, where the UCLA Bruins were looking to set an NCAA record. They'd already tied it at 51 straight wins. They would set a new mark, defeating UC Davis 15-8. The Bruins, two-time NCAA champs. Of course, they're gunning for a three-peat, but for now, they have a new piece of history. The most ever consecutive wins in men's college water polo at 52. Pac-12 Network was there to document it and catch up with head coach Adam Wright.
I think the biggest thing with this group is just the consistency every day that they bring to the training. And it's really a testament to the whole group. It takes the whole group to achieve extraordinary things, and really their everyday consistency is what's played the biggest part in this. We're going to get on an airplane and go home. They're going to recover tomorrow, and then we're going to get back at it on Tuesday. So, it's really a nice accomplishment for this group. They'll go down in the history books, and I'm really happy that they all got to be a part of it today, because each and every one of them is so critical for our program. But they're really motivated. The end goal is to put ourselves in a position to be the best team in the country.
And from Davis, we keep it in California and go to Pomona, where the Sage Hens were welcoming in UC San Diego. The Tritons, a perennial NCAA tournament team, but on this night, it was all Pomona Pitzer. They defeat UC San Diego 10-8, and afterwards, as you can see here via the Twitter video, a big celebration for Pomona Pitzer. Let's go around the rest of the college scoreboard. Action this past weekend. Stanford, one goal better than Long Beach State, 10-9. USC, the men of Troy, all over UC Irvine, 20-4. Out to the East Coast, George Washington doubling up LaSalle, 16-8. And Caltech defeating Penn State Barron, 15-7. And now we turn to two USA Water Polo age group events. It's the month of October. That means Rocktober is coming up. The annual Rocktober PCA 12 and Under Classic returns to Mesa, Arizona, and the Keno Aquatic Center this October 21st through the 23rd. We'll be on site and have full highlights on a future Counterattack episode. Good luck to all the athletes headed to Arizona to compete there. Don't forget, you can get your Shieldy doll. We'll be looking for Shieldy all over the country in the lead up to Rocktober. Shieldy's already been in a couple of places. He's been in Brooklyn. He's been in Washington, D.C. Where else will Shieldy show up on the way to Rocktober, where you can get your official Shieldy doll? And from there, we go to another warm location for the annual Champions Cup. Honolulu, Hawaii will play host this November 11th through the 13th. The best 14 and under athletes in the country headed out to Hawaii to compete in the Champions Cup. We'll be there as well. We'll have full coverage of the Champions Cup. We'll be on site in Hawaii to get you highlights after the fact. We'll also be profiling some of the clubs that are making their way to the Champions Cup. Good luck to all as they get ready for the big event coming this November. The busy schedule of the U.S. Olympic women's water polo team hasn't slowed down just because they're done competing. Winning a gold medal gets you a lot of props. The latest, a trip to Raider Nation. The Oakland Coliseum played host to Raiders versus Chargers this past Sunday, but before all of that, KK Clark and Kylie Nuschel were recognized by the Raiders and the crowd. They even got to take part in a bit of a photo op here with the Raiderettes. I don't know if they're going to be giving up the water polo cap for the pom-poms anytime soon, but a lot of fun had by those two, and thanks to the Raiders for hosting Kylie and KK along with other Olympian Galen Rupp. And then Self Magazine came calling to profile 3 water polo athletes among other Olympic champions from Rio. It was out to the Hanson Dam Aquatic Center for Courtney Mathewson, KK Clark, and Cammie Craig. They had a blast. You might have caught KK's live Facebook chat video last week on the way back. Here's a quick clip from her Q&A.
What is my most memorable sports moment other than winning a gold medal? Sure enough, the gold medal game fell on a Friday. So we were all joking beforehand. We're like, oh, flop Friday. You know, nobody was going to do a flop that day before the game or anything like that. But anyway, the game happened. we get kind of led into the warm down arena, and there's this like giant empty pool because nobody warms down the last day of games either. And I forget whose idea it was, but someone screamed like "Flop Friday!" So we all lined up at the edge of the pool, and there were no cameras, no nothing. It was just our team, and we all did a synchronized flop into the pool, and it was one of my favorite memories because it just really represented our team. We do things together, and we have such a good time doing them. It was just like the perfect kind of way to kind of end the games.
And now we go to the high school scene. Hard to believe, but state championships already being crowned in high schools around the country. The state of Georgia gets things underway first. First, their girls water polo championship. That went to Collins Hill as they were 9-4 winners over Lakeside. Congrats to the Eagles. And then in the overall state championship, it was St. Pius defeating Southern Crescent 4-3 in what was a very exciting close showdown. Congrats to both Georgia high school state championship winners. Earlier in the show, we touched on the Rocktober PCA 12 and Under Classic. That event places a premium on positive sportsmanship. It's in the title, Positive Coaching Alliance, as we follow all those principles with that event. And speaking of PCA, they shared a great video with us. This is some tips, some tactics, some things parents can do when they're watching their kids compete. Can they, as PCA puts it, hashtag dare to chill? Check this out.
Hello there. If you're like most parents, your child doing well in sports is pretty darn important to you. In fact, you're probably willing to do whatever it takes to help them succeed. Even correct the refs when necessary.
Back into it, all right? Come on.
You give them extra practices, tips on form. But what if I told you the real secret to giving them the edge? Would you do it? Great. Because it's you lightening up. Sounds crazy, we know. But studies have shown that kids perform better, play later in life, and yes, actually enjoy sports more when their parents are bold enough to chill out. It can feel unnatural at first, but with practice, you can learn to help your kids succeed. So the next time Coach pulls little Sophie from the action, consider something like sideline yoga. There's nothing more calming than a well-timed downward dog. Hips up, core tight, down, and focus. Nope, focus. Adult coloring books. So many subjects to choose from. Or you could go all in for a nice, calming massage. So when you find yourself sleepless over Junior's draft prospects, just remember, cutting-edge parents today are going all in on backing off. Because sometimes the best thing you can do is just chill. Ready? Here we go. We're chilling. You chilling?
And now we close things out, as we do every episode, with our social media send-off, the best of what we've discovered water polo-wise on the internet. You can join in, use the hashtag counterattack, and tag us at USAWP. We'll share the best of what you're sharing right here on the show. We start things off first with our old pal, Coach Abdu. He was in Chicago this past weekend for an Olympic Development Program camp. Looks like all kinds of good times being had there in the Windy City. Good plane shot there as well. From there, more ODP action now to the Pacific Zone, Northern California area, an 11 and under camp. Catherine Hain capturing a good group shot here, battling the sun, but all smiles from this group. And then back to Chicago, perhaps the next star of ODP. This young child is already decked out in the right gear. That's from the USAWP ODP account. To Ohio, the Mason water polo team, some sort of school dance on the way, and they are dressed up and ready to go with the water polo caps as well. Good to see athletes having fun in and out of the water. David Espinoza chimes in with this water polo face tattoo. Don't worry, it's not permanent. No Mike Tyson action here, but it is pretty cool that this was shared online. Many of the colleges getting a chance to recognize their Olympic athletes as they've returned to campus. Stanford doing so with their trio of gold medalists that are still in school. Maggie Steffens, Kylie Neuschel, and Mackenzie Fisher recognize that a recent Stanford football game card have fallen on tough times as of late. This from the Stanford H2O Polo Twitter account. And then Olympian Ben Halleck, part of the Stanford men's water polo team. He's redshirting this year, but he tracked down another famous Cardinal. How about Tiger Woods back on the farm? We thought he'd be back on the golf course soon, but just recently withdrew from an upcoming event. Cammie Craig at Carver Elementary talking to some perhaps future water polo players, sharing all the gold medal fun there at Carver Elementary. A fun time for sure. And last but not least, Viper Pigeon dares to ask the question, is Flop Friday still a thing? Of course it is, Viper Pigeon. What kind of question is that? We want to see more videos just like this. Thanks for your submission. Use the hashtag Flop Friday. Don't forget, the quest is still on. Will a men's college water polo team take part in Flop Friday? We don't know. We're running out of time here in the season, so let's get it together, guys. Use that hashtag Flop Friday. And that's the best of what we saw on our social media send-off this week. You can get involved. Use the hashtag counterattack. We'll feature your stuff next week. That'll do it for this week's episode. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, when you're on the counterattack, always, always look weak side.